Dmitry Bivol's official statement upon losing his Undisputed Champion status was revealed, and it shows that the WBC was basically pulling a power trip. Now, in the letter sent by Bivol's lawyer to WBC President Mauricio Suleiman, it stated that yes, Beterbiev and Bivol will indeed finish their trilogy, that both men agreed to do so the moment Bivol's hand was raised after their second fight. A widely known situation by everybody in the boxing community, as pointed out by Bivol's lawyer. World Boxing Council President Mauricio Suleiman was also directly called out for not adhering to the rotation that was agreed upon by the 4 sanctioning bodies, and that the IBF was actually the lead sanctioning body to call the shots and not the WBC in this specific situation. Now, this basically means that since the IBF has agreed that their title will be defended against Beterbiev next, the other sanctioning bodies are expected to follow that lead to keep the rotation order in sync. But then again, since this is boxing with a lot of moving parts, rules are always changing and bent depending on the mood and money that's involved in the conversation. WBC's Mauricio Suleiman responded to this letter from Bivol's camp and referred to this as quote-unquote arguments that are so ridiculous. Now, many people, not all but many, are speculating that the reason why the WBC did this was in order to keep their specific belt active and be represented by someone who's actively fighting in the United States who can properly declare the amount of money that they made by defending that belt in order to rightfully charge the corresponding sanctioning fee. Let me explain. So, just a heads up, there was no tangible proof of how much money both Beterbiev and Bivol actually made during their last fight, although there were unconfirmed reports that both men made about $10 million each. However, the WBC said that Bivol only made $2.7 million and that they're offering him $8 million this time to choose Benavidez. Now, this is where things get a little interesting. That $2.7 million that Mauricio Suleiman is talking about, well, it's very possible that was only the written and declared amount made by Bivol. Obviously, the lower your declared earnings are, the lower the sanctioning fees that you'll pay to these sanctioning bodies. It's also worth noting that since all of these transactions are happening abroad, that there's really no way of telling how much money really is involved in the background. It's also no secret that the wealth of these guys back in the Middle East have generally been considered undetermined, with everything just based on guesstimates. Now, a lot of people want to use the phrase money talks when it comes to how the Saudis handle their business and how they're financing these fights. However, people tend to neglect the other half of that phrase, which is wealth whispers. Now, on a brighter note, at least the responsibilities of shouldering the WBC sanctioning fee is no longer in the hands of Bivol and is now passed on to David Benavidez, who's required and burdened to pay 3% of his total earnings whenever he defends that title. I actually made a video of how sanctioning fees work and why the WBC didn't pursue the same action with Canelo Alvarez when he was in a similar position as Bivol, so if you folks want to check that out, it'll be linked down below. As of right now, David Benavidez is rumored to make his first title defense against Callum Smith sometime within the next few months, although nothing is set in stone. Anyway, what are your thoughts about this? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button for more quick talks.